fight or flight, it's better off to face that thing that you are afraid of, because that thing that you're afraid of, it might control your life.
Good afternoon, everyone. In today's interview, we will be talking on phobia and the symptoms of phobia, types of phobia, and how can we overcome phobia. We will be having Dr. Yasser. Thank you for having us today. How do you define phobia?
Phobia is a type of anxiety, so it's an anxiety disorder characterized by excessive persistent fear of subjects, fear of object, fear of situation, or fear of an activity.
What are the type of phobias?
We mentioned like it might be from situation, like people don't like to be in the high rise, for example, or in narrow places like claustrophobia, or even in a specific season, like in some situations. Other, they're afraid of an object, or can be an animal, like some type of phobias to deal with animals or insects. Or it might be from a specific event. Like I know some people, they don't like to be in a public speaking way, like what we're doing now, because again, they have kind of social phobia. They're afraid of public speaking, so this will also affect their ability to perform in front of camera or in front of audience.
Is there a way that we can overcome this phobia?
So there's many ways of overcoming this phobia. Sometimes people using type of medications like anxiolytics or antidepressants. It will take the edge of this extra pressure from them, so it's manage or masking the symptoms. In some situation, like you face it. So if you fear of any situation or any thing like that, you need to face it. So a gradual exposure to a situation, or in some cases to the source of the phobia, gradual exposure to that source of phobia, and then train your brain to handle that one bit by bit.
Can you give me a case where phobia was defined and then it have been treated, overcome, let's say?
Many cases, again, we try to work on what we call sensory processing, how people process these triggers. For example, someone who's afraid of dogs, we try to expose them to watch dogs on TV or away, and after that he can see the dogs like a toy. So when he deal with a toy, in this situation, whether it's a moving toy or it's just like any toy, like he will be exposed to the texture of the black dog, in this case as a toy, or he will be able to touch it, feel it. At the same time, he knows in his mind that it won't affecting him, because again, it's just a toy. There's no soul in that one. So it's not moving. Yeah, it's just a toy. So after that, we start to expose that person to a real dog, but in this case the dog in leash. So he's this dog, or in cage, for example, so there's no way that the dog will attack that person. And bit by bit, if the person start to overcome that fear of seeing the dog, feeling the dog, and hearing the dog, eventually he will overcome that one. Probably in some cases, like the physical reaction for that person is not as bad as someone who's seeing the dog for the first time, for example.
What are some like the first symptoms to do like an early intervention?
When they start to feel like their heart is thumping, for example, and they can feel the palpitation, they need to start to control their breath, for example. So when they start gradually and then start to have control over their breathing, in that case they will have more control on the episode. So once again, you need to think before you act. In some cases the trigger might be high, then you need to try to avoid that trigger. The early intervention is to be able to mitigate the risk and try to do what we call like calculating risk.
Thank you, Dr. Yasser, for this meaningful interview. And thank you everyone for watching and listening to this meaningful interview. And I hope this information would help everyone.